Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are switching gears a bit. I'm putting on my journalist hat and we are here with the guys from Axe Bullets, and we are going to check at some terminal performance on some of the bullets. So yeah, we're going to do some ballistic testing, and you guys have seen now I've used these bullets on the range for target shooting quite a bit, long range shooting with Aura, and then also in the hunting field where they performed extremely well. But we should always question and we should always review. So today we are here to see exactly how those bullets perform, what the mushrooms look like, and guys, at the end, stay tuned. We are going to annihilate some hard drives again. If you've seen the 303 video where I shot some hard drives, which was awesome, we are going to try that again with the monolithic bullets, because I shot the 303 with soft points. Now I'm going to stack also at the end a couple of them together, and we're going to see through how many we can penetrate. So stay tuned for that, and let's get to it. All right guys, so here we are with Francois, who's going to explain a little bit about the methodology and how we are actually going to perform the ballistic testing, or the terminal performance testing that we will be doing here. So Francois, over to you.
Thank you, Derek. Thanks for being here today and helping us with some bullet tests. So the idea behind the tests today is to test the initial expansion at different distances. We'll go up to 400 meters today with different calibers. And the media we're using today is just a normal water bottle. The idea behind it is that it's just a simulation. It's not an exact science, but 70% of the body is made up out of water. And in the past tests that we have conducted with ballistics gel and water yield very similar results.
Oh, that's good.
So the idea is this is 4 inches of water, just about.
For the guys that are using real measurements, so that is 10 centimeters.
Yes.
And
10 centimeters of water. The bullet will then deform into a mushroom on the copper bullets, and it will fragment on the brass bullets. What that then shows is that by when does the bullet start to create its optimal wound channel. So if you use this media to catch the bullet, this is just normal cotton.
Okay, so these boxes are all stuffed, all of them
Cotton
are stuffed.
wool is from a farmer.
Let's just show a little bit close up here. So guys, this is natural cotton, and Francois is going to explain the purpose of that now quickly for us.
So the moment the bullet enters into the boxes with the cotton intertwines with the bullet, and it actually catches the bullet, but it's a soft catch. It doesn't enhance the mushroom or the deformity. So if you use something like wet paper or so on, you can also get some good data from it. But what we want to see is in the first entry of the body, when does the bullet have a mushroom, so
and that's the water
the hunter can have more confidence in the wound channel, and that they know that the axe bullet will deform within the first couple of inches. By the time it reaches the vitals, the heart and the lungs, it will already create maximum expansion and create a effective wound channel.
Okay, so this is our initial mushrooming, and then this is going to be our wound channel.
Yes, but it won't create a wound channel because this is just, it will just catch the bullet to see what happened with the bullet within the first 4 inches of penetration into a body.
So a quick question on this. Just in my context, for the 6.5, the brass that I'm shooting, can you give me a quick kind of prediction? How far do you think that 135 grain brass, how far do you think it will go in here?
I think
this is a little bit of a, I'm putting you on the spot, because this is kind of,
the brass actually penetrates very effectively, because it doesn't increase in diameter. It creates separate wound channels through the fragmentation of the tip, and the shank stays solid.
We should see that here, the fragmentation.
The fragmentation will happen here, and then we will see the splatter into the first box, and then the penetration of the shank, and the shank will penetrate probably into the third or the fourth box.
Okay, I'm going to keep you to that. We're going to check.
Yes.
So that
So
would be cool to see.
So today we will test 460 in Rigby. We will test 375 Holland and Holland
Sure.
in two different weights, a 300 grain and a 250 grain.
Okay.
The 250 grain is very popular at the moment, especially on plains game. You get up to about 2,600 feet per second.
Sure, that's
shooting
fast.
the same trajectory as something like a 3006 with a 180 grain bullet.
Yeah, that's impressive.
We'll test 3006 in a few different bullets, also in weights, different designs. We have the brass and the copper, but we also do a round nose bullet for it.
Oh, we're going to test that one as well today? Okay.
Yes, and then on the 308, we'll test 150 grain, 168 grain, and a couple of 180s. Normally with monolithics, we try to show the hunters, the customers, that it's optimal to get a little bit more velocity. So 180 grain is getting a little bit heavy for 308, but there's a lot of guys, especially bushveld hunters and so on, that shoot them very successfully.
They want a little bit heavier.
We'll see what it does up to the 400-meter mark, and then also a 243.
243?
80 grain Spitzer and a 95 grain round nose.
And then naturally, guys, I'm going to be doing the 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm doing the 135 grain brass and the 140 grain coppers. Yeah, we're going to check out, and hopefully, I think this is going to be a very fun day. I'm thanking Francois for inviting me along to document this. And yeah, hopefully we're going to get some really cool data. And guys, stay tuned for the end. We're going to hit those hard drives. We're going to do some data destruction. Okay, guys, Francois has given me the honors of going first. So I'm not sure if I should be happy or worried about it. But yeah, let's grab some bullets. And I think we're going to go with the 135 grain brass axe monolithics. And got the Garmin set up. So we're going to check what our velocity is. The velocity should be something here around 27, 23, 27, 28. And yeah, let's do this. That was quite cool. So the velocity here is 2786, and that's to be expected from a cold bore shot. Hi guys, so here's the bottle, totally demolished. Let's have a look at some of the damage here. Lighting is a little bit difficult, but you can see there's the little shrapnel, exactly like Francois explained, and there's the actual bullet hole that now twisted sideways due to the water impact. So yeah, now we're going to start searching for it so that we can see what it looks like. Hold on. Okay guys, we started searching now. So started opening boxes, and then Francois called me over. He's like, come and have a look at this. This bullet was supposed to have stopped somewhere around there. That's...
Let's feel how warm it is in there.
Just see. Guys, this is my first brass that I've ever, well, first brass monolithic bullet I've ever recovered. Look at that, exactly the tip that sheds, makes that little shotgun effect, and this whole shank, I mean, water, catcher, 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 last catcher, almost hit the backstop. This is, I am impressed. Guys, if this doesn't impress you, I don't know what will. Wow. All right, let's move on to the rest and see how they perform. Okay guys, so that was the first brass bullet. That was super cool. I'm really excited about that. We're going to try copper next. Let's do it.
On it first.
Oh, we've now also put a Garmin in front to see what the speed is at the actual target as well.
Send it.
Yes, dear.
Yo,
Dear.
I can see from this. It's through. Through. We don't have the Garmin here now, so I'm not sure what that speed is, but should be more or less the same here. 2750. I'm guessing. Let's go check. Okay guys, started looking, but went through the backstop bottles completely. Now, hopefully we're going to try and find it on the ground somewhere. Okay guys, so what we are doing now, the boxes were initially twisted like this, turning them that way to give us a little bit of a longer tunnel. Yeah, we went looking for it, but unfortunately we couldn't find it. Hopefully we'll catch the next ones. So yeah, let's carry on. Okay guys, attempt number 2. Hopefully we'll catch this one now with the modifications. So yeah, let's send it. Straight through again. The backstop bottle also dropped off the table. Maybe it will still be there. But like Franco mentioned, the 6.5 Creedmoor has got such efficient sectional density. I mean, this just proves it again. For hunting, guys, as we're getting closer, look there. All the cotton is just... We're busy picking up all the cotton to see it's not maybe somewhere still lying here on the ground somewhere. Okay, Franco, what have we got here now?
Derek, this is a 416 Rigby loaded with 400 grains of a 400 grain projectile in a brass hydro cup solid and a copper soft nose or a hollow point. So one will create expansion and the other one will have extreme penetration for elephant and thick-skinned game. And the copper hollow point's normally a very good option for the hunter for thin-skinned game, all dangerous game, buffalo, hippo, even elephant on a body shot, it will penetrate well, but the hydro cup solid will beat that penetration while also creating a decent wound channel.
This is now your more senior dangerous game rounds.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
So the first shots, we're just gonna see how they print.
Yo.
So we're gonna take another shot just on the paper target to just confirm where it prints, so that when we go for the water, we're dead on.
Go. Yo.
Yeah, see it. Let's take it on the water.
You ready? Your shoulder's ready for it.
Let's see. Don't think it will catch it though.
Francois, which one are we doing first? The copper.
A copper hollow
Okay,
point.
copper on the catcher. There we go. Yo! Nice. Francois, the front of that box is demolished.
Now let's go see.
Guys, just look at that.
Yes.
That is insane. Now let's see. Yo! Okay, so look at the cotton there inside the water bottle. Gonna recover and see what that looks like. Yo,
There's more.
now that is awesome. Guys, that is one serious bullet. It even feels heavy.
Yes, there's more.
Look at that beautiful mushroom. There's some stopping power right there for you.
Okay, Derek, now we're going to shoot my 375 Holland and Holland. We're going to start with a 250 grain copper hollow point and see if we can retrieve it on the bullet catcher. I also brought some 300 grains, and then also we will see if we can catch a hydro cup, although I think they penetrate a bit much, but let's see. I'm going to use the Shoot X now. They're also available on the Axe Bullets website. Missed. Let's shoot the 300 and a 250 grain just on paper to see the impact where it prints, and then we can shoot the bullet catcher again.
Nice.
Ah, it's fair there.
Yeah.
Aye.
So we're not going to retrieve that one. Hi guys, so far testing is going too good, can I say it? The bullet catcher is struggling. Yeah, so far we've shot the brass and the copper for the 6.5. We've shot brass and copper for the 416 Rigby, and now we've shot copper and brass for the 375, and this one also just went straight through. We're going to see, we're not going to find it. We actually saw it bouncing off there at the 200 mark. Yeah, so from that perspective, I think this thing's going a little bit too well. But yeah, that's only a good thing. So yeah, let's quickly reset up and see if we can shoot some of the other calibers. 308 still has to come, 30-06 and the 243. Let's see what they do. Okay guys, so yeah, started there in the front, came through, ripped a hole through there in the table, and yeah, gone. Now we are placing a box with sand to see if we'll catch the other calibers. Okay guys, now that we've put up the sand backstop, we're going to try the 140 grain copper again for the 6.5 Creedmoor. Hopefully we can recover this one, and then yeah, later we're going to weigh all these projectiles to see the weight, the retention. Stick with us. There we go. Let's go check if we can catch that one. Okay guys, got some bad news. Well, bad slash good news. It even went through the whole box of sand after all the cotton and the water. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and see how we can improve on this. So guys, we are going to try the 36 still, or the 308. I think Francois said the 308. But then stay with us to see. I mean, we're getting such great penetration with that. I still wonder what's going to happen with these hard drives. I'm going to start with 10 first and then see how we get penetration, and then if we need to, we'll add another 10. So yeah, stick with us and they'll see how it goes.
I'm just going on paper again. 308.
What weight have you got there?
It's 168, 150s and 180s.
Which one is going first?
168, then 150 and 180. So I just want to see where they print, and then we can shoot that water jug. This is a copper hollow point.
That sounded good.
Good, let's go check.
Guys, this looks, the carnage looks like a rubbish dump. Sheesh, that hit hard. Let's see if we can find it.
Is it there?
You got it.
Yes.
Fransha, just remind us, what was this again?
This is a 168 grain copper hollow point.
Yes, but look at
This is
that.
a low impact velocity.
That
Some
looks,
decent expansion.
yeah. Sure, guys, just look at that. That is amazing. So now, once again, we're going to weigh this and see what the weight retention was on these.
Okay, Derek, now we're gonna just see prints on the target, the paper target, with a 180 grain round nose bullet in a 3006. Good.
On target?
Yes, it's perfect. Let's do one on the milk jug.
What bullet did you load there?
180 grain, round nose.
On the
3006.
on the water as well now.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh. I think we'll find that one.
Let's try it again.
That was center. It just nicked the milk jug
What side?
on the right, but it's center of the box.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Nicked it on the right.
Guys, we're going to do some bullet digging just now. Oh, yo, that was an impact. Let's go check.
Right, see it. That's more there, more.
So Fransha, this is the 30-06.
306, 180 grain round nose bullet.
Yes. Look at that.
This is the 6.5.
Wait, guys, so while we were digging for the 30-06, we found the copper 6.5 as well. Here they are, head to head.
So the 6.5 had a much higher impact velocity. So it sheared off one of the petals.
Let's just get a
Still
focus here.
retained the other three,
Yeah.
sheared off one.
And the 30-06.
306 had full expansion.
Yes, that's a beautiful mushroom there. There we have it, guys. So now at least we've got something to go away. But that, I mean, guys, this is performance if you've ever seen it. So guys, what they say here in South Africa, a boer maak 'n plan. So this is a prime example of that. Trying to salvage what we've got. We'll see if we'll shoot another couple of rounds into this.
Derek, let's try the 250 grain 375 copper hollow point. 100 meters. 375 Holland and Holland.
Looks like it went in just right of the water bottles. Oh, there we go. Yo, that smell is just something else. That's amazing. Let's go check. Carnage after that 375 Holland and Holland. Ooh, what happened here? Francois, I'm not sure we're gonna find that bullet, but we can try. Hi guys, thanks for sticking with us so long and this far. Now we're going to start with, I'm going to do 10 hard drives, and on this side is 19. So first we're going to check if it goes through 10, and then we're going to go check for the 19. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay guys, so time to shoot those hard drives. I'm not sure exactly which one to go with. I think I'm going to go with a brass. I think it might penetrate a little bit deeper. I actually don't know. I think both of them would do extremely well. Yeah, let's go. Okay, so I obviously don't know. I can see they all fell over. Yeah, we'll go check just now, but let's try the copper on the 19. Yo, that looks pretty cool from what I can see here. Let's go check it out. Just a quick thought as I'm walking towards those hard drives now. Guys, shooting should be fun. And I mean, it is a tool. Yes, it's a tool. I use it as a tool for hunting and for stocking my freezer. But it should also be fun. It should be something that you can enjoy. The sport like Alra, the long range shooting. And doing cool things like this. Drop me a comment down below if you guys want me to do a little bit more weird and wonderful things, and give some suggestions. And then we'll see if we can make it happen. Okay guys, let's see if we can put this carnage together. I found the brass. Let's see if we can focus on that. But if we count the brass, that's one hard drive, two hard drives. Actually, I don't know if the one with the tiny hole is the front one, and then it starts blowing up like that. That's even more blown up. So I think it, if we look at it from left to right, well, your guys is right to left, I think this is hard drive 1, expands all the petals, and then that's very interesting to see the damage. There's the next one, and I found it just behind this one, and this is the damage it did to the last one, and then this one was dented. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hard drives. Guys, I think that's pretty damn impressive. It also varies on where you're going to hit the drives as well, because as you can see, there's internals, and it looks like it has hit on the center of that spindle. That is the hardest spot it can actually hit, and then it deviated from there. You can see that was the first, and then it deviated and then caused quite a bit of damage. Right, that's the brass. Let's have a look at the copper one. So copper stayed nice in order for us. What is this? Wow, that's the aluminum that just exploded. Let's see if I can show you guys a little bit better. Look at that back. Wait, 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 wait. Here's the first one. Once again, first one, clean entry wound. Second one, massive damage. Third one, even worse damage. And then we get the fourth, and here's the actual copper bullet. Goodness gracious. Let's see if I can get it close up here for you guys. I don't think we're gonna weigh this for weight retention, because obviously this is never gonna happen. But we've got some more hard drives to test, and that will be next time. Guys, so Francois is watching me now with the hard drives, and he's got some thoughts about this. So Francois, share with us, please.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, so the hard drive can kind of like replicate or demonstrate something like hitting hard bone at a very high speed. This was only 100 meters and your muzzle velocity was 2,700 plus. And this 6.5 still retained the solid shank. Had a lot of deformation, obviously, because these kind of hard drives are really a hard kind of target.
Yeah, that's the copper.
Fun, but the copper bullet still has a solid shank. So if you can imagine shooting a bigger animal like a wildebeest with a fast small caliber rifle like a 223 or a 243 or even a 6.5 at high speed, a copper bullet will retain a lot more weight and straight line penetration. So if you compare it with a lead core bullet, the lead core would disintegrate, same with what you would see here. Pieces like that, zero penetration, and you will still wound the animal because nothing will penetrate through the vitals. If you look at this was the brass solid shank, still retained a lot
that's
of weight.
A lot of weight
So
retention.
you can weigh it at home, but that just shows you that even at high speed with smaller calibers, you could still get enough penetration through the vitals. That might yield you your animal.
Yeah, no, I think job well done. It's like this is proven in my books, guys. The performance is unquestionable here. So yeah, it's up to you guys to decide as well. Right, guys, so that concludes today's testing, and I'm going to hand it over to Francois to give us his closing thoughts, and yeah, let's hear what he has to say. Francois, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, it was a great pleasure.
Yeah, it didn't go completely as planned with our bullet catcher. Biggest issue was to catch the bullets in the 1.5 meters of cotton that we had available, and I didn't bring my Kevlar backstop. So lesson learned. We will definitely do a take two, a part two, where we will also then do the 200, 300 and 400 meters.
Yeah.
We did get some very good results, and so the whole day wasn't wasted. There's a few awesome bullets that we did manage to catch. One was this 416 out of the Rigby. The muzzle velocity on this specific load was around 2,300 feet per second, and at 100 meters we impacted it. So it's a 416 caliber, and the widest expansion point looks like about 0.711. So very good expansion. But another thing that you can look at, maybe you can show on camera, is a flat knee plate. Flat knee plate. So as this bullet rotates 100,000 revolutions per second, the flat knee plate helps with straight line penetration. So let's weigh it. Bullet weight retention. So it was a 400 grain projectile, and now it weighs 399.
399. Let's just leave the table. The wind, is actually, the scale is so sensitive.
Call it 390. The ballistic tip we put in here weighs about 5 grains. So very, very good result on the 416 Rigby. It also shows that this caliber is 100 to 150 meter caliber. Big dangerous game. Expansion like this, straight line penetration with the flat knee plate, great weight retention. it will deliver results.
So Francois, if you had to choose in a dangerous game situation, 375, 416 Rigby, if you're on the spot.
416 hits considerably harder than the 375.
So would
I
you-
love the 375. This is my own rifle right here. It's a Winchester Model 70, and I love it. But the 416, it just takes you to the big bore, where the 375 can be considered the medium bore. But for the hunter or the huntress, a lot of our clients all over Africa, outfitters that we do supply, we supply thousands of bullets into Africa, culling programs, all kinds of things like that. And the 375 delivers better results where a hunter is inexperienced, or it's a lady or a young shooter. It's got considerably less recoil. I think you'll see on the videos.
Yeah, no,
where
definitely.
it really hits the shoulder much less, and easier to be on target. So the intimidation factor also on recoil, it really counts a lot of points. So but if you can put this bullet where it's supposed to be, this could be a very good stopping rifle as well, where a 375 can do the job, but I think it's regarded as just enough, where the 416 Rigby really takes you to another level. And obviously the 458s and the lots and those things, 500s, it's an escalation chain, but this is an amazing gun, an amazing bullet, old caliber. It's been delivering results for 100 and something years.
Yeah, and I mean the 375 has always been considered, for American viewers, I mean you guys should know, 375 is always what they tell you is the minimum when coming to hunt Africa, and it's a kind of do-it-all caliber.
Dangerous game. So for plains game, a 3006, 300 Win Mag, 308, they can do the job on all the other plains game animals. But for dangerous game, 375 is a great choice. Buffalo, hippo. I would say if you go to thick skin game, we use the Hydro Cup solids instead of the soft nose hollow points on the copper. So the solid is made out of brass. So like you can see on the brass footage that you got back today, it does penetrate considerably better than the copper. So elephants and so on. We've recently had a lady hunting elephants successfully with the 375 on a 300 grain Hydro Cup solid. But yeah, we also get a lot of great feedback. 458 lots, 416 Rigby's, 416 Remingtons on elephant. Very, very capable round. Yes.
Let's quickly weigh that brass as well.
The brass, this was a 6.5 Creedmoor that you shot, also at 100 meters. The muzzle velocity on this was 2,750.
And 80, yeah, 2780 something.
So you'll see the great petling. All the petals broke off up to the full available petling on it, meaning where the hollow grind or the hole stops, and that creates additional wound channel. So it opens up, creates quite a big wound channel. So the weight retention on this, and like you saw on the target, I don't know if the viewers saw on the target, the moment there is resistance at the front, and it's not completely flat like the copper bullets will create a flat me-plat, that straight line penetration. This bullet will actually start to tumble inside the body, creating a massive wound channel. So it's not a bad thing. And like you saw in that Impala you hunted recently, it was a frontal shot right here in the chest,
from here through,
and it actually exited between the legs at the back.
Yeah.
So great penetration, a big wound channel, awesome bullet for head and neck shots and body shots. I mean, if your wound channel is as big as your hand, the cavity goes here into the heart and lungs, and it's just devastating on animals. So they're 120 grains.
120 grains from a 135. That is very impressive.
There's another very good result we got today was the 3006, 180 grain, and this was a round nose bullet. So from a 308 caliber, looks like the maximum expansion, 0.692. So from a 308 to 0.69, so it's more than double expansion, double diameter expansion. It was 180 grains, also retained the flat knee pad, as you can see there, and now it weighs 179.
0.2.
Yeah,
Yes.
depends on the wind.
Still, that is that. I mean, that's splitting hairs now.
quite
This is
sensitive
amazing.
to the wind. Another bullet we did manage to catch today was a 308 bullet, 168 grain Spitzer bullet. This was loaded down to a very low muzzle velocity out of my 20-inch 308, and it was only a 2,200 feet per second muzzle velocity. So I'm not sure, we couldn't get the Crony to work downrange. We'll still go and do some research on how to get that right. But very low impact velocity, but still did manage to expand to 0.460 from a 308. And also just note the flat knee pad. That's almost more important than the expansion diameter. And here you can see, it's just, the wind is, there you go, 168 grains.
Sure.
Yeah, now in the 167.2.
That is amazing.
Also a very good result. Another bullet we managed to catch was 140 grain copper Spitzer hollow point, 6.5 Creedmoor, and also a muzzle velocity of around 2,700.
Yeah, they were all running the same speed, more or less. Yeah.
So this one sheared off one of the petals.
Let's see there.
Sheared off one of the petals. My hands are dirty.
There we go.
Working hard here all day. And expansion from 0.264 to 0.508. Also, you can still see the flat knee pad, and there 128 grains with a petal that was lost. So the day was not wasted. I think we gathered some valuable data, and we will be back with the proper bullet catcher. The backstop, I've got a Kevlar backstop that really helps when shooting these big bores and helping us to retrieve the bullet. And then yeah, we'll be back for a part 2.
So with that said, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to get notified when the new videos get uploaded, and catch us in part 2 of this experiment.